Well, welcome back to the Stadium Light. Final score here, Sunderland 1, Lincoln City 3, in what was probably a bad day at the office and some bizarre decisions as well.
Yeah.
Many of the Sunderland supporters will be leaving the Stadium Light quite frustrated and a little bit bemused by this evening, really, Danny.
It was a strange game, wasn't it? I think, from our point of view, we didn't play well. We didn't get going from the off, if we're honest. And then you just felt it in the stadium as well. There was a few groans as the misplaced passes were happening. And then we get caught. We give a free kick away on the touchline. We'll go through the goals and the highlights in a minute, or the lowlights, as we'll say this evening.
Let's start running them now, Danny, as you speak,
we'll
and then we can talk over them.
Yeah, and this is the one, and I think this is a sending off. Chris, he actually does well there, and then Lyndon Gooch has to go back at him, and that's a nasty one. He goes in with his boot up. You see the reaction from a couple of the Sunderland players.
The whole bench was up as well.
And he gives him a yellow, and I think that's a red. But this is disappointing. Look, don't turn your back on play. Switch on. We've got two players looking at the ref appealing. Game's gone on. Yes, he doesn't score, but he gets the shot away. Flanagan gets the block in, and this is a great strike from Chris Maguire.
Bang.
I think it's the power on it as well. People might say, can Patterson do better? But for me, he's got two players in his line of sight, and Chris catches it really well. He cuts a little bit of fade on it, cuts across it, and it's on Patterson before he knows it, and he can get a glove on it. But it's the pace on the ball that beats him. And I think you're looking at, from our point of view, in terms of going forward. Ross has that header there. He does well. He's stretching, he's leaning back to get it back on target. That one there's offside. This one here, Regan Poole gets a good block in, and these are all bitty half chances really. See, the cross then comes in, and it's a comfortable one for the goalkeeper. So we just struggled. I think in that first half, Jack Diamond, as I said, was probably our brightest spark. He was trying to get us going, and then second half, early on, we had one or two. You see that one there, Ross Stewart at the far post. And then this is the one that leads to the second goal. I think Embleton has the ball. The referee thinks that they've won the ball. You see a few of our lads appealing. It's the reactions there, not there, and then they break, and there's Chris Maguire. Nice way to pass. Flanagan should cut it out. He misses the ball, and then Chris Maguire just puts the brakes on, waits for the contact from Carl Winchester, and he's in his back. And I thought he was going to give him a second yellow and send him off, but he gave him a straight red. Then Chris steps up. Patterson goes the right way, but it's the height on the strike that does him. That's his second goal of the evening. And then you think, can we get back into the game? And then Aidan O'Brien, he just takes a gamble off Ross Stewart's flick on. Pritchard gets there.
Sanders brings him down.
And he does,
Didn't pick up a card there.
It's a yellow card for me. I think he's behind Alex Pritchard. Yes, you've got Regan Poole in there, so maybe, obviously it's not a red card because he's there. But anyway, the keeper makes the save, doesn't he? He can't adjust the goalkeeper and react, but Ross follows it in and manages to stab it home. And then you're thinking, can we kick on here now? We get back in the game.
If this went in, would it really change the game?
And that's that, isn't it? That gets us back to 2-2. And then the crowd were up. We're down to 10 men, and if you get that goal, and then the momentum's with us. And we're still there. We were still having a go. You can see that lads here, and this one here, a little bit of link-up play. Embleton gets the strike away. Keeper gets across. I thought he'd fumbled it into the bottom corner, but here we go, and it's another mistake. It's Lyndon Gooch this time, misses the ball, then he tries to pull him back, and you see Chris Maguire again. We get caught on the counter attack. We got bodies up the pitch, and you think Flanagan, don't bring him down because you'll get sent off, and he just lofts it, Chris. And again, for me, no chance for Patterson, and that's Chris Maguire with the hat trick, and that is there, 3-1, and that's game, isn't it? Game, set, and match. And then just after there, the heads started to go. We see the one or two ugly incidents down below us, which we'll get onto in a minute. But with Chris Maguire, we said before the game, on his night, he's a match winner. He can make things happen. And this one, he nearly makes it 4. To be fair, it's just the ball to yard ahead of Chris. But Patterson's out to get hold of the ball. Obviously, we've not shown the incidents down below us at the end there. I think Callum Doyle comes across. He's lost his cool a little bit. Doesn't get there. He comes through with a bit of force. And then McRandles comes across, almost stokes it up, doesn't he? And then there's a lot of bodies come across getting involved. Whether Lee Johnson said something to the ref or not, it looks that way. Even the fourth official has reported him yet again, and he's been sent off as well. So not a great evening on the pitch or off the pitch. We've lost Carl Winchester to suspension as well now. So it's a bad evening all round, but let's just hope it doesn't affect the boys. They've got to dust themselves off, and they've got to go again at the weekend now.
Those are the results in EFL League One. It was still playing. It's Bolton 0, Wycombe Wanderers 2, and MK Dons 1, Wimbledon 0. Let's have a look what it does to the table. Sunderland still sitting in second position at the moment, but played 2 more than Rotherham
Yeah, and then 5 more ahead of Wigan, aren't we, in terms of games, and what they 5 points behind us as well. So, listen, it's a blow tonight. You know, only a few games playing. Big opportunity for us to get back to the top of the table. So Rotherham will be happy, obviously. Good result for Wickham as well, and Wigan. So, but we've got to keep chipping away. Still got 20 games to go. Still a lot of points to play for, and we've got to react. And then let's hope we don't go on that dip what we had a few weeks back, where we had, I think it was at Charlton, where we lost here, and we lost three out of 4 games. We've got to react, and as I say, we've lost Winchester tonight. There's 1 or 2 lads look like they were hobbling. Lyndon Gooch towards the end of the game. We've obviously lost Corey Evans on Saturday, so they've got to regroup, assess where we're at with the injuries, and we need to get a couple more bodies in the building. And you know, Trey Hume coming in, where's he at? You know, is he going to be involved in the squad? Whether he's been playing over in Ireland? You know, we need an out-and-out right back as well. Winchester's been playing there. He's obviously
missing now.
You know, he started in midfield. He went to right back, didn't he, at the start of that second half? He got sent off. Lyndon Gooch goes back there. So we need to get some bodies into the building as well. And we need 1 or 2 back out the treatment room.
Let's have a look at your thoughts now, if we can, as we start the hashtag Ask Danny. This is from Mark. Does this performance show that with all the injuries we have, we need some new faces in sharpish and out of the players rumoured? Roberts, Ladapo, etc. Who'd like to see at the stadium this month?
Well, yeah, with the amount of injuries we've got and suspension as well now, yeah, I think we need reinforcements. We've been going great on a reduced squad in recent weeks, haven't we? With the amount of injuries,
positions do you think we need the most?
Well, we mentioned the right back a couple of weeks ago. Now Trey Hume's come in. Where is he? Is he not up to speed, or we're not sure? So he wasn't involved Saturday. He's not been involved again this evening. But he's an out-and-out right back. So if he's fit, I'm sure he'll more than likely come in at the weekend. You know, people are on about a striker, and yes, we do need a striker to come in. I think, you know, we're reliant on. We've lost Nathan Broadhead. There's a lot on Ross Stewart's shoulders at this moment in time, isn't there? Keeping him fit. You know, he's banging the goals in. But if somebody comes in, they're going to know that obviously Ross Stewart's the main man. So they're going to be more than likely on the bench unless they play in one of the wider positions. They might come on, get 10-15 minutes in games, but Ross is the main man. So if we do get a striker in, more than likely they're going to be a backup striker, unless we do change to going up top with a 2. I think you look at the game this evening, we could see early on our passing game wasn't there. Now, I've said it before, I think when we're at it, and we've seen all the teams in the league now, we're only judging teams that we've played against on the 90 minutes that we've seen. We don't watch them week in, week out, but when we're on our passing game, as we've seen second half at the weekend, I think we're obviously one of the best passing teams in the league. Now, when it's not there like it wasn't this evening, where do we go from there? We obviously went a little bit more direct. Well, we certainly went more direct. We were shelling balls up to Ross Stewart. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. I've heard the fans say before, have we got a plan B? Well, if your pretty passing game's not there on the pitch, which is starting to churn up, then sometimes you've got to go a little bit more direct and then get those second balls. It's not pretty. Sometimes it can affect the game. But yeah, so in terms of that, if you're playing Ross, you might need another body in and around him. And then if your Pritchards and Embletons are struggling to get involved in the game, where we can't thread those little balls through them 10-15 yard passes, they're relying on second balls off Ross as well, running on beyond him, and it just didn't work tonight. You know, plan A wasn't there, plan B wasn't quite there either, really, was it? Over the course of 90 minutes, we probably had 10-15 minute spell in the whole game where we felt like we were gaining some momentum, but then obviously the goals went against the run of play, and that killed that. But yeah, so I think you're looking at a striker. I think we certainly need, depending how Corey Evans is going to be, 1 or 2 weeks if it's the concussion protocol. Maybe another centre midfielder was talked about anyway. So I'm sure they're looking to strengthen in there. But prior to it, even this evening, I'm sure the recruitment staff were looking at these positions anyway.
Okay, let's have a look at the next one then, please. This one is from Nathan, who says, do the levels and standards of refereeing in EFL need reviewing with X amount of decisions going against us each week? Although it does work both ways too, the lack of consistency is embarrassing. Is it time for the EFL to start introducing VAR? Well, of course, VAR is all dependent on the stadium, isn't
as
it?
well. Yeah, well, obviously, I think our stadium can cater for it. Yep. But you know, you're looking at other grounds in the league, and it's the cost as well. You know, I don't think it's ever going to come into League One, League Two, maybe Championship in the future. I'm not sure, but I know he's asking about VAR there. But week in, week out, you watch games in the Premier League, and there's constant arguments about VAR. You know, watching the cup match as well last night, United and Villa. Decisions taking 3.5 minutes, looking for offsides, fouls, all sorts, and it just hinders the game. The fans don't know what's going on in the stadium. So I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I know week in, week out, we seem to sit here, don't we? Even tonight, we're looking at the referee's performance, and there's been how many, 12 players or so been booked tonight, and we're saying there could have been another 3 or 4 which he's let go as well. So we want to be sat here after a game talking about the quality of the performance from the lads, not referees' decisions. But unfortunately, between the ref and the linesman at this level, League 2 level, I played there towards the end of my career, and if you think it's bad at this level, I've been down there at League 2 level as well, and no, it's not great. And even at Premier League level, they get decisions wrong. I've not been a referee, and it's a difficult job, I guess. My old man's a referee, or he was a referee as well, so I question him at times. But no,
we're going to have to get him on like Peter Walton.
We'll bring him in, get him in here after the game and question the decisions. But no, it's a difficult job, and sometimes they need help from the linesmen. I don't think they got it on a couple of times tonight. There's one down below us first off. I think Lyndon Gooch got pulled back, and we said straight away that's a yellow card. He didn't give it, and the linesman's 5 yards away. So why aren't they giving them? The one at the weekend, Jacobson, it's a clear pull back on Lyndon Gooch. The linesman's 5 yards away. The ref's 10 yards away, and between them they didn't give it. And that's the second yellow card. This is the frustrations, and then he goes on to get the equaliser at the weekend. Chris Maguire tonight, I think. We've got the benefit of looking back on the monitor, slowing it down, and I think it's a red card. Whether Chris is meant to do it or not, he's gone in high, the ball's on the floor, he's gone in studs up on Cole Winchester's shin.
Yeah, it doesn't look nice when you slow it down.
But the fourth official's 5 yards away, looking directly at it. So is he not? He's all right at the end, telling the ref that Lee Johnson said something out of order, but he can't see that and say, I think that's a red. So it's the inconsistency which infuriates the fans.
I think we've got a new feature there. Ask Danny's dad coming on. Let's have a look at the next one then. This one's from Leon. He says, do you have any pre-match rituals, such as when footballer Daniel Gibbons used to kiss
his ring? Yeah.
I think our production team might have been stitched up a bit there.
Well, no, I didn't used to kiss my ring, but I used to put my left boot, my left shin pad on first, just a pretty straightforward one, really. Yeah, I think a few of the lads do certain things with the rings and that in the changing rooms, but no. But that one's tickled you, hasn't it?
It certainly has. Let's move on swiftly then here on #AskDanny. This next one is from Andrew. Hi, Andrew. Evening, lads. Hope you're well. First half was flat with Stewart not getting much service. Not much from Neil, Pritchard and Embleton. There was a 10-minute spell in the second half where we looked threatening. What 3 words would you use to describe tonight's performance? #AskDanny.
3 words. Slack. No, slack in terms of the passing, really. Slack. Lethargic.
Tired?
Well, leggy, and I said second half, lethargic and leggy, and disappointing is the big word, I think. Coming here tonight, big expectation. Even the weekend, disappointed that we came away with the draw. For me, I know certain fans have said, you take a point at Wickham, but I just looked at the overall performance, the chances we created at the weekend. Should have scored 7 or 8 goals. Coming here tonight against the team, yes, they had a good result against Oxford at the weekend, but they've struggled all season, sat in 19th, and just that first 5 minutes, we just slack on the ball, playing it behind players, underweighting it, overweighting it, taking too many touches, and then the pitch starts to cut up, and then the passing game goes away from us. And then Lincoln just sat back, they were happy, and they almost as if they said, is that all you've got in a way, really? And then they came out a little bit, and they didn't have to do much to get the goals. We've said that, 2 counter-attacks, and we switch off from a free kick, and there's their 3 goals for the evening. We get ourselves back in it, obviously with the penalty, a bit of a lifeline. The crowd come up and try and give us that little bit of a lift. We have the one cleared off the line, didn't we?
Yeah.
But then they score that third one. Game's gone. As you said, 75 minutes on the clock. A lot of the fans were leaving.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be too hard on the lads, really. As I said a few minutes ago there, I think we've been down to low in numbers. Almost the same 13, 14 lads week in, week out have been digging in and been putting in performances.
It's all about how they respond at the weekend.
It is, yeah. A lot of young lads in there. We've said it before. We've got a few experienced boys in there. They need to just get back to it on, where are we on? I was going to say
Saturday.
Monday morning then. No, I was going to say
get back in training
tomorrow, whether they're in tomorrow or Thursday morning. They might analyse some of this game. Sometimes managers like to sit down and you call it the post-mortem video. You're looking back at the video nasty. You're in the meeting room. You don't like to do it, but you know it's coming.
Yeah. Or
Lee Johnson might say, do you know what? I don't want to show it to the lads. Let's put it behind us. Now we've got to focus on Accrington Stanley at the weekend. We've got to get going again. Going down there, they're having a bit of a mixed season themselves, aren't they? But on their day they can cause problems, but we've got to go down there. We've got to get back to it. We need players like Pritchard on the game, Embleton, get them on the ball. Dan Neil again. And then Ross, and even tonight, Ross, he's frustrated. He's got a lot of balls coming up around him. He's competing. You can see towards the end there, he was frustrated on the far side. He got clattered, didn't he? I thought it was a booking in the lad, and he got up on it. He had a few words, and Ross, we spoke to him on the podcast, and he seems like a gentle giant, but even that riled him when he got clattered over the far side. So if we get our front five firing, then we know we're more than a match for anybody in the league. So we need to get back to it at the weekend and tighten it up at the back.
Yes, we will be back at the weekend. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff away against Accrington Stanley. Myself and Danny will be in the studio for that one. You can join us around the world, not in the UK though, at safc.com for your matchday streaming passes for the programme here on SAFC Live. Okay then, hasn't gone to plan this evening, but we'll come back again at the weekend and hopefully Sunderland can get back to winning ways.